Slack and he major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to yet another episode of the My Type of Hype podcast with me, your boy Slack, in the building as always. And as always, my co-host extraordinaire on my left. What's happening, my brother?
I'm blessed, man. We're here. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. Slack, we saying, bro, you good?
Yeah, bro, all is good, man. Can't complain. Can't complain at all.
Nice.
What we got in the bag today?
Yeah, man. So before we look at the art storytelling today, beautiful concept in hip hop, man. Not as easily done as a lot of people think it is done. So yeah, before we chop it up a bit about that, man, some of our favorite MCs in that category, songs, albums, things like that, man. So yeah, rock with us, man. The art of storytelling, and it's exactly that. It's an art. It's an art.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
All right. So I think when we used to break down rappers back in the day, a lot of rappers tried to have that storytelling element on their albums.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that kind of exists anymore, or am I wrong?
Nah, it's not as I don't think it's as common. I mean, like you said, probably every MC, and that's why I said there's an art to it, because every MC does it or have tried it or have songs in their album where they're telling stories, and some are just, you've literally told a story to be okay, well done, you've done that, but it's not captivating, it's not entertaining, it's not made you feel like there's no twist. It's like watching a boring film, and it's like if the film's boring and there's no sort of variation or no twist or nothing like that, you're not really gonna say, oh, that was good. Like be like cliffhangers and plot twists, you know what I mean? And just for it to be done, like if you're watching something, obviously you have the visuals. If we're listening to something, we don't have the visuals. So our mind creates the visuals. So if an MC is painting a picture and telling a story, he needs to do it well to help us create those visuals. And that's, in my opinion, why I say it's an art. If you can do that well, then you know what I mean, it's successful, you've done it well. But now to answer your question, from what I can recall, I don't think it's that common anymore. Not good ones anyway.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but I don't know if, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know if that's down to the MC or if it's because of how music's being consumed nowadays. Yep. Because of the way that albums are put together now, it's not the same as it was before. Like, there's not that many artists looking to make that cohesive project. It's like there's a TikTok song, there's a song for the kids, a song for the girls, a song for whatever. But then why wouldn't you include a storytelling song? So maybe that is the case, but I couldn't imagine someone like Ice Spice telling you know what I mean, doing a good storytelling record. Yeah, so I think a lot of it now, well, mainstream hip hop anyway, a lot of that is down to, we need bums on seats, we need feet on the floor. No one's gonna stand in the audience to listen to a storytelling record. But I would definitely go and listen to one of my favorite artists if they was on stage and they was doing some of their storytelling songs. I'll definitely go and listen to that. Yeah, for real. All right, man. So I guess to start it off, we could go in quite easily with a definitive top 5 of your favorite. And you know, I don't really like to do lists and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Spirit of the show. Your favorite top 5 storytelling MCs. We can go back and forth through that one.
Yeah, we'll go back. I'm actually laughing because as you know, where I was like, create a 5 and I've got 10. You know what I mean? A lot of it is a backup though, because I think we might clash in
the building.
There you go, man. I got to be true to the name, innit? But there you go. Let's do it. I'll kick off with them, then you can go. Some of them are going to be painfully obvious, innit? I've got to go with Ghostface. Once again, I'm going to go with the reason being is about description and painting a picture and making you feel like you're there. And I think Ghostface, as I've probably said a million times on this podcast, I think Ghostface does that brilliantly, man. He just had, and it's an art form, man. He makes it look simple, like he does it easily. I just think he's so and you can tell because his character is like that. He's like an animated character. You see what I'm saying? He's not laid back. He's not chilled. He's very animated. And I think when he's telling stories, you can imagine Ghost would be the guy that if something happened down the street and you wanted someone to tell you about what happened, you'd want Ghostface to tell you, not Master Killer. Do you know what I mean? You want to tell you the story because you know Ghost is going to throw a whole bunch of stuff in there that probably didn't happen, but it will add to the dramatization of the story he's telling.
That's a great parallel because I can imagine Master Killer telling the story. He'll be like, "Yo, man, so this dude got shot the other day." Ghostface will be like, "Yo, kid, this dude."
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So for me, that comes across in his verses and in his songs and in his albums. He's very artistic and articulate with his storytelling, man. So he's got to go down as one of my favorite storytelling MCs, man. Ghostface Killer, without a doubt. Yeah. Anything he does.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Obviously, I had Ghostface down as well. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna return the favor and I'm gonna take someone off your list that is blatantly obvious, and then I'll go for someone a little less obvious next. But the most obvious, I'm gonna say Big, of course.
Yep, definitely.
For the simple fact that maybe I'd even say his first album was a whole concept because right at the beginning is him being born.
True.
Then it goes into him sticking people up, robbing a train, and all this kind of shit. You got Warning on there. You've got Me and My Bitch on there. You've got even Everyday Struggle. There's little stories in there where he's talking about
100%.
He went down south to start dealing drugs. His mum getting breast cancer. There's a whole load of that song there alone is very autobiographical. The album as a whole, I would say, is definitely like a concept stroke storytelling album. It takes you from the beginning of his life to when he commits suicide at the end of the album. And the way that he elevated his storytelling for his next album, and unfortunately his last album, and when you think about the age that he was when he died, and I keep going back to this because it astounds me that a 24-year-old did what he did in the space of time that he did it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very, I don't think enough emphasis is placed on how old he was when he was doing what he was doing. That's what people keep saying, you know, how can you say that he was the best? I was like, who else? There's a very, very, very tiny portion of MCs that could do what he did at that age. You'd probably say Nas, and because Nas had pretty much touched on the amount of stuff that he did. Tupac, pretty much the same. So yeah, very, very small amount of MCs that could do that. And his storytelling, you know what I mean? I've got a story to tell, and Many Words Bleed, all them kind of songs. There's just not many touching him. Like nearly 30 years later, there's still not many MCs that could touch what he was doing back then, like the early 90s, bro. Like, yeah, just a different level of MC for me. So gotta say, for sure.
Completely agree, man. When I was putting the list together, he's the very first name I put down. I just went with Ghost because I wanted to give the Ghost a shout, but definitely Big. Once again, it's effortless, man. And this is why I always go back and forth. When I say sometimes I prefer Life After Death, people think I'm crazy, but I think what it is, I don't think it's a preference. I think I'm so impressed with the progression because Ready to Die was already a good album. We know that, the classic. But then on Life After Death, he just, in those 2 or 3 short years, man, it just felt like everything, the storytelling, the rapping, even his flow, the way he delivered the verses as well, like his voice, just everything. Like it was like he was watching a film, man. And take away around maybe 2 tracks off of a double album, take away maybe 2 tracks. Every track's a banger. And I just think like the way Big done that was insane. And to see what he would have went on to do would have been crazy then. But yeah, I can't agree more. Just like Ghost, I think his description and all of that is just brilliant, man. But he's there. Is it Niggas Bleed? So when he's talking, he's saying, Frank, pay attention. But it's like, so you're picturing that someone's in there probably drifting, listening, but you're like not paying attention. There's little things. He just paints a picture and adds humor to it and everything. But yeah, good shout, man. I'm going to go with Nas. Have to go with Nas as well as my second pick. I think Nas is an amazing storytelling MC, man. And we'll get into songs and albums and that later, but I think Nas is another one. He probably tells stories better than he does just rapping. You see what I'm saying? Or just rapping about random topics. And I think that's something that's overlooked. If someone can effortlessly tell stories on a track or in a verse, or even if you're not telling a story, be as descriptive as Nas is, that's something that not everyone can do. So to do it easily and probably without trying is different, man. And I think Nas is brilliant at that. We can pull on so many tracks. So I won't do that now, but Nas will be my other pick for my probably top 5 favorite storytelling MCs.
Yeah, I think for Nas, it feels like he's most comfortable when he's telling stories. It feels like that's when he's kind of at his best, you know what I mean? Rather than just, I mean, he can do it all, but I feel like when he's telling a story, that's when he really like flexes his best work. So yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that for sure. All right, I don't want to go with the obvious. People will be like, "Oh man, I can't believe that you've gone so obvious with your pick so far." So I'm going to throw a curveball in there now, and I'm going to go for Murs. And I've mentioned Murs a couple of times on various episodes, but his storytelling is incredible, man. But I didn't start listening to Murs until 2003, 4, I think it was, when he did the project with Ninth Wonder. And if I'm honest, the only reason I even checked for him was because of Ninth Wonder, because obviously the work he'd done with Little Brother. I didn't know nothing about anyone called Murs. And even when I got that album, the only reason I got it was because the dude who was in the shop at the time, he was playing a song. I was like, shit, who's that? He was like, Ninth Wonder. It's like, give me the album. Like, I didn't hear nothing else. It's like, he said Ninth done the whole album. So I was like, all right, cool. At worst, the beats will be good. I don't know anything about how this dude rhymes or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's got, for me, 5 Mic album. I've said it a million times. He also has some like really good storytelling songs on there. So he's got one song on there called Walk Like a Man. The beat flips like 3 times. And each time he's telling something slightly different. So he tells a story about getting shot up, and he tells them like just incredible, like you said about Ghost, like he puts you there so you can literally see what's happening. The way he describes certain things, he describes how he's feeling, he describes the scene, but it's all like really coherent and dope. I spoke on the Valentine's Day episode as well about a song called Summertime in November, where he's talking about meeting that woman who was married. They started a relationship, then she ends up standing him up. There's a song called Vows where he's talking about how he met his wife and getting married and all that kind of shit. He's got a song called Freak These Tales where he's talking about some of his sexual conquests, let's say, some that went well, some that didn't. But again, he can tell a story about anything and make it entertaining. Like he can drop in a bit of humor, drop in a bit that makes you think, oh shit. The way he ends it as well, you're like, damn, like he told a whole story in like 2 verses. Like just really, really, really talented at that, man. And I don't think enough people know about Murs. I think more people if more people were up on him, they'll understand like how really good he is. So you got to throw him on there.
Yeah, definitely agree, man. Like you, it was his album at Ninth that put him on the radar for me. And once again, it was more because of Ninth production. But I think they got about 3 together, 4. No, they got a few together.
They got loads together. Maybe about 5 or 6. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a couple I haven't heard. Then I only know of about 3 or 4. And those are all hard. Like there's such a good chemistry there. And definitely. Like he's not just a random rapper, like you're saying. So that's a good shout, man. Definitely agree with you there. Who would I go with now? Let me break it down. I'm gonna go with Andre 3000. Once again, effortless with it. I think more on his feature game, he kind of tends to bring something. You don't just want to rap. I've noticed that when he features on tracks, obviously all throughout Outkast albums as well. But when he features on tracks, it's like he wants to make that lasting impression. And it's almost like he says to himself, I'm not just bringing any old verse to the table. So and depending on the song, I've noticed that it may seem a bit like, okay, that's a bit of a weird hookup, but it's like they reach out to Andre many times when they want some substance on the feature. He's not someone who just throw anything out there. And even on his tracks, I think you mentioned him on the Valentine's Day when you said about love songs. You think he's a good love song MC, which was a great shout because, as I said at that point, I didn't even think of him because he does it so well. You don't think of it as a love song or a love story because he does it in a way like it's just life. You see what I'm saying? Which it is, and he does it like that effortlessly. So yeah, on his songs, I mean, you think about a song like Synthesizer. His verse on that for me might not necessarily been a story per se, but the story he was telling, so good, man. Even on you think of, what is it, 16 with Rick Ross.
Yeah.
You think about that, yeah, like he's bringing in, just when he brings in, especially when he's talking about relationships and things like that, I just think he does it so well, man. So I think he's a great MC, and when it comes to storytelling, I think Andre does it very well. Big Boy is underrated like that as well, but Big Boy is just a spitter. So sometimes you think Big Boy's a spitter, Andre's the more calculate. But when you actually listen to Big Boy's bars, he has it all there as well. But I just think it's that Andre probably does it more
in a different way,
with a bit more class. Yeah.
I agree. I think Andre needs. I think if someone reached out to Andre and said, "I want you to feature on this song" or whatever, I feel like he'll be the type of MC that say, "What do you want me to rap about? What's the song about?"
Yeah.
And if they say the song's about this, then he can write something about that. I think if you just went, I need a verse, I don't think he's the type that's just gonna say whatever. I think if you reached out to Big Boy and said, "I just need a verse," I think he could just hook you up with some. I'm Big Boy Daddy Fat Sacks, just talk shit for 45 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think with Andre, I think he needs that something to rap about to make him feel like because I think that ties into the whole conversation that he was having about he feels like he's too old to rap. And his question literally was, what am I going to rap about? So I think for him, he literally needs that. He needs that inspiration for him to think, oh yeah, I can write a song about that, and then he can go in and do it. So yeah, I think his whole style is kind of around that whole storytelling or introspection or something along those kind of lines that he feels he needs a subject for him to rap about.
Yeah,
so
and I respect that.
Yeah, for real. Like even if you look at The Love Below, he needed that concept to make the album. That's why he did it in, what was it, a week or two? So it was like a really short space of time. So once he's got that thing, then he's like, right, cool, I can write about that. And yeah, I think that's why he's so strong when it comes to telling stories.
Definitely, because I watched an interview once and he was saying that if you ask him, Big Boy is a better rapper than him. He said he thinks Big Boy is a better rapper because of that same thing. Big Boy can just rap. He can just rap to the cows come home. He can just rap. But I feel Andre will run out of inspiration. And if he's not inspired, it almost feels like he can't rap anymore. Like shout out to I Am God. We had him on the show a few weeks ago, as you know. He said something recently. He said, "Don't ask me to freestyle. I don't freestyle." So everything I do is written. If you ask me, and you may look at that. I remember back in the day, people would say, "Oh, you ain't an MC. You can't freestyle."
Yeah, you had to. Yeah, right.
But when he said it, I kind of respected it because it's like I'm not taking anything away from people that can freestyles. It's actually an art that I love, and I mean freestyle off the top. I love that. But I felt like what you're saying is that I always need something to talk about. I can't just rap about anything. I respect both sides. Well, I feel like Andre would be that kind of person. But then probably Big Boy, if you throw a beat on you, like he'd probably be rapping like for hours as freestyling. He seems like that type of person. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. Andre. Who you got next?
I could go one of two ways. I feel like you have the other guy on your list, so I'm gonna go for the other guy. So I'm gonna go for Scarface on my list. So
that's funny. I do have it next.
Yeah. So you probably know from what I said who the other guy is. I don't know what more you can really say about Scarface, man. Just definitely my favorite rapper from the South for his discography, his ability to write songs about anything. the first time I really like dug into Scarface's music, I think was on the Diary. So I knew about him obviously from the Ghetto Boys,
Yeah.
Mind Playing Tricks and all that kind of stuff. And he had obviously The World Is Mine and all that kind of shit out already on Mr. Scarface Is Back. And those were dope projects. But the Diary was the album because I was old enough then.
Right.
Was I really? I was still young, but I was still able to digest that album better than I was his other stuff, if that makes sense.
100%.
So he's just got a load of just amazing. Like the first song that really resonates from Scarface for me was Never Seen a Man Die. Everything about that song, the beat, his voice, the video, it's just a very haunting song. Like this dude in the video, he's just turning up and just leaving roses on dead people and just very eerie, like very kind of spooky and shit. And I just loved that song. Like I still love that song.
Definitely.
His delivery and everything, just his voice, the way he changed the pitch, everything, just amazing. And going back throughout his discography, like songs on The Fix and songs on Emeritus and like loads of the albums that he dropped after, he's always got some kind of gem on there too. And he's another one that he doesn't just jump on a song and rap, you know what I'm saying? Like he's always got something that he's got to talk about. So he's got a song called Smarts on the Untouchable album where he's talking about basically being black in America. Fucking incredible song. Like, incredible song. One of my favorite Scarface songs. And he stays on topic. Like he doesn't deviate. If he's got a song called My Mind Playing Tricks on Me, he's not gonna be talking about, you know, when he met some girl at a club. He's literally talking about I'm hearing voices and all this kind of shit. Like I love the way he stays on topic on all of his songs. So yeah, one of the very best storytellers for me. Yeah, definitely Scarface.
That's actually two really good points you made there. One was staying on topic, man. It's not easily done. You know what I'm saying? So to stay on topic,
a lot of time, 3 verses, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah,
he stayed on topic, which is something that really needs to be highlighted more. And the other thing was when you said the pitch in his voice and things like that. It's so weird, but that Never Seen a Man Die is that when you, like you said, it's haunting, man. The way you're telling that story, but the way he's rapping, almost like it's like theatre. When you think about an actor changing up their style for certain roles, that's literally how Scarface is. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, 100%, man. That's a good shout. I had him down as well. Definitely, man. He deserves all the props.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with Tupac.
I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna go somewhere else with it, but okay, we'll go with.
Where do you think I was gonna go?
You'll see on my next one.
So I'm gonna go with Tupac because and it's funny because I put him down and I took him off, then I put him back down. The reason I took him off is because I always think about that video when people say, "Oh, you need to have a work ethic like Tupac." Because there was that clip that was floating around of him in the studio when he was like, throw a beat on, you jump on, lay your verse, whatever that last word is, I'll jump on, record a track, that bang. And, you know, so he had that, and he comes out in prison, he's got like 65 million albums. So people always refer to his work ethic. But as you'll notice in a lot of his tracks, they're just verses, hard verses and good songs, but you could tell he was churning out music.
Yeah, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? That's why they was able to do all these things. But there was a point in his career where you could tell that he felt like any verse where he didn't deal with issues or address matters was a wasted verse. And that's something that you got to love about that Tupac, man. I was watching documentary on I'm gonna go blank now, bro. What is wrong with you, man?
What was it?
Sorry. No, that I love, but no, it's about the Black Panthers, but one of them in particular. It's gone for me, and I'm actually angry about that. It's gone for me, sorry, man. But anyway, he was 21 years old, yeah, and you're looking at the way he's speaking and addressing people, man. I feel so bad, but addressing people, and I'm just thinking like, this guy's 21 years old, and the passion and the drive and the purpose in everything he delivers, in everything he does. And you're like, this is actually crazy. Like, you think about 21-year-olds that we know.
Nowhere
So when
near.
you think about Tupac, do you know what I'm saying? So obviously you mentioned about Big's age, and obviously Tupac, they were the same age when he died. But when you're looking at his first albums, like, you know, Apocalypse Now, Strictly for My Niggas, Me Against the World, those type of albums there, man. He's been through things and he's dealing with things. Obviously his mum was a Black Panther, we know that, and their mama taught us so much. But you just think to yourself, man, everything has purpose, stories, and obviously you've got, you know, Brenda's Got Baby and songs like that, Hold Your Head Up and all of that. But he felt like, man, I got something to say and it needs to be said. I don't know when I'm going to be silenced. And everyone knows how I feel about Tupac, man. I think he's an incredible artist, and it's reasons like that that add to it. But obviously I love the contradictory side of him as well, the ignorant side. But that Tupac deserves a mention, man, because I think when it comes to telling stories and addressing things and dealing with issues, he's one of the best to do it, man. Even if it's for passion alone, he's one of the best to do it. So yeah, I wanted to definitely give him a shout out before my rant. So
yeah, I would totally agree. I think with Tupac though, a lot of times it's more not so much storytelling. Like Keep Your Head Up isn't really a story.
No. It's more like a theme.
Yeah, exactly. So he's more of a yeah. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, when he does do the story, like, you know, Brenda's Got a Baby, Me and My Girlfriend, stuff like that. Then he can definitely hold it down. Oh man, I'm torn.
Oh, Fred Hampton. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. All right.
Fred Hampton. Forgive me. There's no way I could let that end and me not remember his name. Too important. Fred Hampton. Yeah, 21 years old, man, as we all know, but still. But yeah, here you go.
How many picks have I got left? One, innit?
Yeah, we got one each.
Shit. All right, then. I'm torn between two. I'm just gonna go with Slick Rick.
Mine. This is your last one. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Slick Rick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there was another one, but I don't think it will be right for me to not include Slick Rick as one of the greatest storytellers in hip hop. Simply because, if you think about it, Slick Rick is still eating off his album from '88 because Behind Bars didn't really make no noise. The Art of Storytelling came out, what, 98?
I think.
Outcast was up there, so it had to be like, let's just say late 90s at some point. So there was quite a gap between the albums that he's dropped, and he's revered by so many rappers. Like, you ask a lot of the rappers who started, like Snoop and a lot, like even Big and a lot of these other dudes, like, who's your favorite rappers? Jay-Z, even, I remember talking so highly about Slick Rick. Like, this dude inspired a whole heap of MCs that we wouldn't have had. Nas as well, like massive influence on Nas. And if we're talking about one album to really make a difference in hip hop, then The Great Adventures of Slick Rick is that album, bro. Like, if without that, we might not have got a load of the music that we ended up getting, because a load of the MCs that grew up listening to that album decided that they wanted to rap. So I don't think I could ever have a storytelling top 5, whatever, without including Slick Rick, because he basically taught MCs how to do it. So he was the blueprint. That whole album, you know, Ladi Dadi and, you know, all the great songs that he had on there, from when you was kids, as a child, you could listen to that stuff and be like, oh yeah, okay. And then, you know, try and develop it and change it into whatever you want to be as an MC. But for it to have inspired so many things, so many, like, of our greatest rappers of all time, I just don't think you can. He hasn't got the catalog of albums,
right?
But I think that one album, his debut, changed hip hop in a way that you just can't leave him off that storyteller's list. 100%. And the fact that his third album was called The Art of Storytelling kind of tells his own story right there. So yeah, Slick Rick.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I had him down as an honourable mention, but like you said, he does sort of, you feel a bit bad just making him an honourable mention. But I was trying to go with like who I kind of would. I don't really revisit Slick Rick that much, if I'm honest. You see what I'm saying? Art storytelling, sorry, not art storytelling. Great Adventures, obviously, incredible album, classic. The reworks and everything, definitely. But yeah, definitely deserves a mention for that Slick. But yeah, all right, man. So they're just some, by the way. There's others that we can list, but there's just obviously 5 that we've thrown out to you.
I thought that you would have thrown Ice Cube in there because I, for a fact, had Ice Cube on my list.
Yeah. I had him down as an honorable mention. So when you said that other person for Face, I immediately thought of Hand Over Dead Body. So I thought, does he mean Ice Cube? But I thought I'd let you say it. I had a feeling because obviously with that song, that's the first thing I thought about. Hand Over Dead Body with Cube. I mean, Cube is another one. Definitely deserves that mention.
Yeah, man. Like for the sake of me not mentioning the blatantly obvious with every one of my choices, that's why I decided to go with Murs and shit like that. But yeah, Ice Cube is definitely one of the best when it comes to that. So it's not that I left him off. It's just that I didn't want to make it, blatantly obvious. Yeah.
I have got him to mention in something else, so that's another reason why I thought I'd delay it. But right, so let's get into songs, bro. We'll look at maybe 5 of our favorite storytelling songs, and I'm not saying are the best, just 5 of our favorite. You want to kick off?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, man, this one was tough because there's a million.
Sure.
Okay, so songs. I'm gonna start with Cube as I missed him off.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll go with the obvious. Today Was a Good Day. So I don't know how old I was when I first heard that song, but I used to get absolutely rinsed on the box. Like that song's on every day. I think that was the first song when we moved into our new house. That was the first song that was playing. I was about 12-ish, around there. Yeah, we moved into this nice new house and shit. And I remember you remember the old cable boxes. So they had just come to install the cable box.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do, I go to the box channel, whatever that is, and that was the first song. And I always remember that was the first song that was playing. Was Today Was a Good Day. So yeah, that song is always kind of, because every time I hear it, it puts me back right there in the living room watching that shit repeated. Yeah. I don't think there's much more to be said. The sample and the story and everything else is just pretty much hip hop perfection. There's not many storytelling songs that, if you're talking about like your top however many greatest storytelling songs, that song is going to be on there in some capacity.
Of course.
So, yeah, man. Yeah. That will always get a mention from me.
Yeah, I had that down. That's when I was going to probably talk about Cube a bit. So yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Definitely. And he's just another one who just does it effortlessly. I'd say majority of his songs are storytelling songs. You see what I'm saying? Where he's telling some kind of story. So yeah, definitely. But that one, definitely a standout, man. And I'm just letting you know, bro, I'm doing bare cheating on this one. Sorry, man. As co-host, man, it's my right. I'm doing bare cheating. All right, so I'm going to go with, I'm laughing now. So I've got about 12 in there, top 5. But I'm going to go with Nas. And that's what I said, cheating. You meant to say one song. I put Nas, I Gave You Power, stroke Shootout, stroke Small World, stroke Undying Love, bare different songs in there. But listen, reason being, I couldn't pick just one out of those. He's got so many songs like that. But for me, when I had to really narrow it down, I was trying to narrow it down to like one that I had to use as one. But
you don't have to use one. You could have multiple Nas entries in there. As long as
I'm gonna go with those. That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go with those then. I Gave You Power, Shootouts, Small World, and Undying Love. Obviously he's got so many other good ones, but those for me, I wanted to mention them because apart from I Gave You Power, most people don't talk about Shootouts or Small World. Do you know what I mean? When you're talking about Nas telling stories, and he's telling incredible stories on those tracks, man. When you listen to Shootouts and how descriptive he is with what's happening, Small World, down to the T, man, down to the small details he's throwing in on the track. And obviously, I gave you Power. It's just an obvious one, man. To tell a story from a gun's perspective, as to what happened, to being carried outside, to making yourself jam, to falling, to thinking you're free, to someone else picking you up. Man, come on, top tier, man. You ain't getting much better than that. So for Nas, I'm gonna put those down as some of my favorite storytelling songs from Nas, man. Yeah, he killed those 5 mic songs.
Yeah. And then I'll have to throw in Rewind and Blazer 50 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Nas, you can keep going on and on.
So,
okay, so my next one, I'm gonna go for "Dance with the Devil" by Mortal Technique. So if people haven't heard, well, many people would have heard that song, but that is one of the most like haunting songs.
Wow.
Probably one of the greatest storytelling songs as well. From beginning, and then the way it ends is like shit. Like how many songs end? You're like, damn, I can't believe that's how it ended.
I forgot about that song, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I think when you talk about storytelling hip hop songs, pretty hard to leave that one out because it is such an epically told, tragic story.
100%.
Yeah. So that one always get mentioned from me, man.
Yeah, man, that's a good shout, man. I need to go back to that actually. I haven't heard that for a long time. Very obvious, I know, but I have to go with Eminem Stan. Blew my mind the first time I heard it. Down to production, 45 King, down to the scribbling on the paper, to give you that more imagery again. Like I said, when you can give the person the listener the imagery, it's perfect. Down to the scraping of the pen on the paper. I'm sure there's is there 4 or 5, or am I getting a bit excited? There might be 4 or 5 verses on that, man. They're not long verses, but
I think there's 4. I just remember it went on for longer than I thought it would when I first heard the album. I was
exactly
like, damn, the story keeps going.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it was 4.
I just think he done it excellently, bro. Like excellently, even without seeing the video. The story that was told was just brilliant.
I think the video took it down a lot, if I'm honest. I remember being disappointed when I saw the video. Like, I think they could have done a better job.
Right. You know
it's like I think the song was that descriptive
and watching the film.
What I had in my head. The video didn't quite live up to those. Do you know what I'm saying? It was. It's an iconic video and all that shit because it's an iconic song. But the video just didn't punch as much as the song did when I first heard it. Because the first time I heard the song, I was like, fuck. What did I just
it's mad. It's crazy. It deals with everything on there, but I know what you mean. It's like when you read a book and then watch the film. The film is always a letdown because the film doesn't leave room for the imagination. The book does. So when you hear the song, when I heard this, once again, am I getting excited, or was that a Christmas #1 over here at one point? It might have been, I know it was #1 over here, but I remember thinking
it was definitely #1 for a minute, and I think it was a mad time of year. I think you're right,
Yes, I'm thinking that's mad. But anyway, so that song, from the story, we all know it inside out, but from the story he's telling, everything he's doing, I just thought it's brilliantly done. You hear the progression of the frustration in Stan's voice. Everything like that, and then when he's talking at the end, he's like, "Oh, how am I going to send this out?" You know what I mean? Because he's like, he obviously drove off the bridge without getting the tape out. Then Eminem's finally responding, and he's thinking, "Damn, that was you at the very end." Oh, brilliant song, man! That Eminem for me is untouchable, man. Like that, Stan is an incredible song, man, and I'll say that to the death. Like I think Stan is brilliantly done. When you hear things and it blows your mind, that's what it done to me. When I heard that song, I was like, incredible, man. But yeah, had to give that a mention, man. It's an obvious one, but definitely worthy of a mention. And because Eminem's, and look what it's done as well, I was going to say, because of Eminem stands, it's even created a whole culture of
fans,
names for fans, exactly. But because of Eminem stands, you kind of avoid talking about him sometimes, man. But seriously, take away all the excessive hype that they give. Eminem, that era was incredible. Do you know what I mean? And Stan is a brilliant. In fact, to give it a rating as a song, it would be a 5 mic song. Yeah, brilliant. Definitely deserve. Stan.
Yeah. Can't really argue with that. I think I'd have to go for I've got a story to tell for the obvious reason that
Mhm.
it's just such a good story. Just what can you say on a double album with so many songs, you find the time to write such a good detailed story, and then for us to find out later that a load of details in that story was real. Like there was a whole thing
Yeah.
about so yeah, brilliantly written song, stands the test of time for sure. And I think maybe if Big was alive, because he died before the album even came out. So I'm thinking if
Yeah.
he was alive, there might have been like a video and all kind of shit to go with that to kind of bring it to life a little bit more.
Mm.
But yeah, that's one of the storytelling songs that you can kind of listen to
100%.
over and over again. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
We
So
got a video for it, bro. Remember? What's it called? I've got his tails.
let's move on.
Look at your face, bro. How did he flop that, man? Look, we're talking about storytelling songs. That concept of tales.
It was right there. It's right there.
Thing. It's
right
such
there.
a good. Some of the songs, some of them episodes, man, like shocking.
I
Think I watched
1.5 episodes.
Well, I watched every single one of them because I'm thinking.
Why?
I'm thinking do better. It started off good though. It started off good. What was the first one? I think I'm messing about. I think the Biggie one was all right. It had Woody McLean in it. Biggie one was all right. There was a couple other ones that was okay, but I think some of the others the way he took it away from the story is like, bro, like the work's done for you. Just
exactly.
I mean,
just keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna tune into anything with his name on it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, when I heard about those though, I thought this is gonna be good, man. Because imagine we didn't storytelling
tales, and I was like, you're an idiot. Like, but I thought at the same time, I was like, okay, the stories there. Like you can't fuck
right.
You don't have to do nothing. You just have to bring that story to life. You don't have to write the story. You don't have to edit the story. The story's there. We know what the story is.
Yeah.
You just have to put the visuals to that story.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even do that. So not interested.
No. All right, number 3. My number 3. I'm gonna go with J. Cole, Wet Dreams. I think that was brilliantly done. Off the Forest Hill Drives album. Come on, let's keep it real, man. You're thinking about the things that make stories good as well as when they're relatable in it. So obviously, as a young man, he's telling his stories. He's in class. He likes this girl. He's thinking about her. He's going to lose his virginity.
I really did
that. Say that again.
I was not. I'm like, this dude's in math class. Like,
take the imagery of Jermaine Cole having a wet dream at your mind. But what I'm saying is, though, when you listen to the song, though, I think how he told the story was good. You see what I'm saying? It's not something, as we're seeing now, it's not something you really got to talk to your boys about, innit? As he's telling the story.
I can't do it. I can't. It's just weird. And even to call it Wet Dreams, I'm like, what is wrong with you? What's going on? Nah.
Man, I think, right, what I liked, though, was how he told the story, yeah? Obviously, talking about the note pass and everything like that, meeting with the girl, trying to be... Why I keep laughing now, bro? Gonna hear that song the same, man. You just stripped it of what is to you. Anyway, that's my choice. I'm not going to carry on talking about it after that. Here you go. I think you done it well. Let's just say that. I think you done it well. It's not an easy thing to rap about for the exact response that it evoked from you. So I think you done a good job with it.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I could never.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Getting a fucking boner in math class about some chick. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? All right, man. I'm gonna keep it clean, and I'm gonna go. And my choice is gonna be Duckworth by Kendrick Lamar.
What song, sorry?
Duckworth. On the
yes. I love that album, man. But yeah.
Yeah, so that whole story there, and the Ninth Wonder beat as well. It's like, oh shit, what's Kendrick gonna do on the Ninth Wonder beat? So he obviously killed that beat. The story was great. And talking about, was it Top Dog who came in to rob the restaurant or something at the end? Yeah, incredibly done. Really well done. I don't think that song gets enough props for how good it was, to be honest with you.
It's because it's on Damn, bro. If that was on Good Kid,
yeah, that's true.
people would be
But there was
phrases.
a couple
like Damn.
good story on Good Kid too.
Yeah.
What's the song with my homies? It kind of sounds like in Boys in the Hood where they drive around looking for the dudes who shot Ricky.
Yeah. Oh, what's the
It's got
song
that
called,
kind
man?
of, and at the end it's like me and the homie. Oh shit!
I know the song you mean. That's gone from me. I know what you mean though. I had it listed down.
Oh,
album, but
Art of Peer Pressure. Art of Peer Pressure.
Yes, that's the one. That's it.
That's the song right there, man. Very, 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 very well done. The whole atmosphere. You close your eyes and you can picture them driving around in their car, going looking for these dudes, and that song gave me that exact same feeling. So yeah, incredibly done.
Yeah.
So yeah, big up Kendrick, man.
Yep. I actually had him down as an honorable mention for storytelling MCs. He does it well as well. Right, who shall I go with? I got 2 more picks and a few songs left. I'm actually going to go with Warren G though, bro. Warren G and Nate Dogg, Regulate.
Yeah, definitely.
Super classic song.
That's a great choice, bro.
Super classic album. Yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those ones in it where sometimes because the song is so popular, I don't sound like a dumb thing to say, but sometimes because the song is so popular, you forget how good the content is. It just becomes this song. You know what I mean? But when you actually break down the content, I remember, man, shout out to my bridge and Adrian. I remember when it came out, we was listening to it. My bridge and Adrian was like, bro, how are you putting that on record, man? Like, and everyone know you got jacks. Lady gets robbed, you know, and he's putting it on the song. But whenever that comes on, I always think about that bit and it makes me laugh. But yeah, the storytelling in that is brilliant. Obviously, Nate Dogg, you know what I mean? Cheat code with his choruses and his voice obviously takes it there. But yeah, everything, man, just from the whole story, meeting the girls, getting robbed, going to the hotel, getting revenge, all that. So yeah, I think it was done really well, man. And it's just a brilliant song. The samples used excellently. It's just a brilliant song, man. It's a perfect song. Doesn't put a foot wrong, man. So Warren G and Nate Dogg.
That song saved Def Jam as well. Because if that song wasn't as good as it was, the album might not have done as well as it did, which saved Def Jam. Yeah, it's one of them songs that you can listen to that song again in 10 years' time and it's still gonna slap. Like it's one of them that just never. And it kind of came out of nowhere because I was expecting, if it's Warren G, I was expecting him to be, you know, Death Row, Snoop, Dogg Pound, Dr. Dre. But the fact he came out with Nate Dogg first, and it was just him, like there was no rapping features. I was quite like, oh, okay. And for it to be as good as it was, because I knew Warren G to kind of make beats. I didn't know him as a rapper back then.
Right.
He might have had like a couple like very short verses on the Chronic.
Yeah, little vocal samples and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Doggy style. But there was no real kind of me like, oh shit, I'm anticipating a Warren G album. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that the song came out and it was as huge as it was, and like it's one of them songs that every age group can like rap along to enjoy. Yeah, brilliantly done. So it's not easy to catch lightning in a bottle like that. So cadences of the verses, the way that him and Nate Dogg kind of interchange. So Warren does his little smooth rapping, then Nate just effortlessly comes in with the singing part. Like you said, the beat, everything. I don't think they could have made that song any better, to be honest. I think that's just
fully agree,
five mic hip hop.
Yeah, I agree. Fully agree. You got last. No. You got a couple.
No, I got one because I went first.
No, did one. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. What was it I had? Shit. I just had it in mind and it's totally gone from me now. Oh man, that's disappointing. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you run with your last one, and then hopefully it'll come back to me.
Right. So I had a couple of really obvious. I leave them out, but the one I'm gonna go with for my last choice is DMX. Damien one. Yes. The one off Dark and Hell is Hot. Come on, man. it just tells the story brilliantly. Do you know what I'm saying?
First time I heard
It almost felt like a
first time I heard
that was
that
done.
song.
Yeah, man. It's just so dark. It almost felt like Snoop's Murder Was the Case. That's another one actually. I didn't write it down, but Snoop's Murder Was the Case. That's such a good one. But it almost felt like a newer version of that. You don't really hear tracks where you're talking about an MC selling their soul to the devil or making deals with the devil and doing, you know what I mean? It's dark, isn't it? No one really goes there. But I just thought the way DMX done it was so good. Damien comes into his life, you know what I mean? I'll give you this, I'll give you that. It's all fun and games at first, till he wants him to go and kill his brethren and the rah rah, and he's stuck with him. You know what I mean? So, and then for it to be able to become a series of songs, and in the contrast, him having his convos with God as well, it just paints the perfect picture of DMX as a person on the whole. And I just thought it was just done so well, man. So yeah, that's my last choice. I'm going to DMX Damien. Yeah,
that's a really good choice, man. I don't think the rest in the Damien series ever got close to the first one.
They don't.
And I know that he tried when he got Marilyn Manson. I think it was on the second album to play the devil and shit. And I was like, the concept works, but the song just was nowhere near as great as the first one was. You know what I mean?
No,
which is a shame, but
it
is. Okay, so this ain't the one that I had in mind, man. It's just fucking gone out of my head because we was talking about Warren G. But I got to go for Onyx, Robin Vic. There's two.
Yeah.
You have Robin Vic and you have Veronica, both on the same album.
Yeah, shut them down.
The Veronica song, incredible. Just incredible. Oh yeah, I got this new girl. Oh yeah, cool, come round. We're doing this, we're doing that, and then she sets them up to get robbed at the end. Just dope. And the way that there's the girl, I don't even know who played Veronica on the song. If I'm honest, I've got no idea who that was. But then to have, because it's hard enough to tell a story on your own, but to tell a story and have 3 MCs doing their part effortlessly, that's a skill right there.
100, man. That's a good shout.
Robin Vic, I think, might be even better because I love the beat on Veronica with the whole kind of stringed violin kind of shit going on. But Robin Vic, it just feels like a crime movie, like right from the beginning. So yeah, him bringing in his brother and then, you know, talking about they're gonna hit this lick and then they do it and then they start arguing and they're literally arguing over the verses. It's just effortlessly, brilliantly done. And the fact that X1 and Sticky are brothers or were brothers in real life, like RIP to X1.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Just brilliantly done, bro. And right at the end where he killed, like he's literally like, you think I won't kill you? He kills his own brother. And then the hook is like, for the love of money, people kill their own brother. And I was like, shh. Like, it's just an incredible song, bro. From the way that they bounce off each other and they're still managing to tell this story and the sound effects, and it literally makes you feel like you're watching this shit, but you're listening to it. Like, just So I can't remember which one I had lined up, but Robin Vic definitely gets a super mention, man.
Yeah, man. No, definitely. That's a good shout. And there's so many we could throw out. Like I said, I've had so many on the list, but I mean, even if you mentioned Veronica and Robin Vic, it got me thinking of which I had more Trife Life on the list. Not deep, more Trife Life. Then obviously you got Trife Life. Obviously you had Renee Down and things like that. There's so much. Oh man, I used to love her. The stories told. So many.
There's one thing I hated about More Trife Life.
What was that?
I love the beat. I love everything about it. The way it ended was just shit. He was like,
it definitely was way too abrupt.
Take a nigga word, don't ever go see your bitch. And I was like, why would you like go see your bitch? Like, that's weird.
It was like, and he told us like we've already got that. We already got that from the whole story you're telling. So it was like it was very obvious abrupt. It's like he ran out of things to say.
And I was just like, you could have made this so much better. It was just really disappointing way.
But definitely, definitely. It was a bit of a mad beat still. Okay, so for time, but I want us to do these though. So let's look at 5 of our favorite storytelling conceptual albums. But we'll probably run through these quicker because of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I think one of the greatest. There's two that I think are amazing storytelling concert albums that just don't get spoken about enough. The first one is Black Trash by Sticky Fingers.
Bro, I had that down first to say
that
it, bro.
Is literally one of the greatest like concept
so good,
albums ever. And it's not just the fact that the way he's put it together is so brilliantly done. And this is why I think Sticky Fingers is so underrated, because not many MCs could do what he did on the album. But the fact that the music was actually good with it.
Yeah.
So that whole scene in the court with Rob Digger as the judge and Redman as the prosecutor, Cannabis. Bro, I mean, who's doing this shit nowadays, bro? No one.
I couldn't agree more, bro. That song Why as well, when he gets his brethren to pick him up. And then he says, just wait here, and he goes and rob the jewelry shop or whatever. Then his brethren gets killed by the police and all that. Yeah, full man. From him coming out of prison to all that. Even that song for Apology to the Sisters or something, when he's talking about all the men and all that.
Yeah.
So, bro, brilliant album, man. Seriously. Never mentioned it. Brilliant concept album. Just brilliant album on the whole, man. Yeah, I'm so glad. Good shout, man. Definitely. Brilliant. Sticky's underrated, man. Like he can. When I was listening to that album for the first time, I thought Sticky can actually do it all, because when you listen to Onyx albums, when Sticky, he's just mad aggressive.
He waited for a Sticky album, like a Sticky verse back in them days. Right.
Yeah, he always. But for me, I can't talk for anyone else, but for me, I weren't confident that he'd be able to hold down a whole album. So, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was hoping he would. I didn't think he'd come out like that, but he killed it. Absolutely killed it.
Yeah, that's a good shout, man. What was the other one? You said that you had two that were really good. You said Sticky and
Prince Paul, Prince Among Thieves.
Bro, I don't really like that album, you know. I don't know what it is, man. I've tried so many times.
I loved the whole thing about it, man. I loved it. It was just so original. No one was doing that shit either. Like nobody.
Agreed. Yeah. I agree, man. I don't know. Like I went back to it. First time I played it when it dropped, I was like, it's okay. Went back to it a second time. I thought, I don't think I'll go back to it again. And then when I was on Twitter and then everyone's always singing its praises, I was thinking, you know what? Let me revisit this thing, because maybe I'm just listening as older ears. Still, I don't know. It just don't grasp me, man. Don't grasp me.
That's cool. But cool. Not everything for everybody and all that. But I
100%.
Even down to the title, like Prince Among Thieves, and the whole concept of the album. Yeah, I think that's just really well done, man. Really well done.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. My pick. I'm gonna go with, like I said before I threw these, but Ito, man. Ito Brigante. Love.
I knew you'd have that on there.
Of course, bro. I'm always singing its praises, man. I love Carlito's way, and you know, for him to do the project and do it so well, like it was just brilliant, man. I'm not gonna bang on for time's sake, but love it. If you haven't heard it, man, definitely go. For the listeners, if you haven't heard it, go check it out. It's a short album, man. It's like, I think it's less than half an hour. It's a short album, man, but it's just brilliant. With the little samples and what he's doing, you just feel like you're watching Carlito's way through hip hop, man. Done brilliantly, man. So yeah, even talking about it now, probably gonna go and spin it again after this. I love it, man. Seriously, I gave it 5 mics, man. For me personally, I know probably no one else would, but for me, it's a classic, personal classic. I love it, man. So yeah, Ito Brigante, definitely, man. You got next?
I'm gonna go for Minstrel Show by Little Brother as a concept album. The album pissed off the label because they was like, "How can we sell this shit? Like you're calling hip hop a minstrel show and all this kind of stuff." But it was just so brilliantly done. Like just the characters that they carried on into the Made the Lord Watch album, Miracles, and all these guys on there. And at the time, hip hop was kind of in the whole minstrel show.
Yeah,
all right. Like, let's be honest, it was. That's why I stopped listening to it. From around, I've spoken about this a million times, but from 2001, where it was getting to plink plonk kind of laffy taffy kind of bullshit, I'm not listening to that. So yeah, I wasn't interested for a couple of years, man. I was just listening to old stuff. Little Brother brought me back, and then their second album, highly anticipated. So the fact that it was that well done, and it was the whole concept about, you know, hip hop becoming this minstrel show. Just down to the name of the You Black Niggas Network, UBN. Everything was just like their own theme show. You are watching UB, like brilliant. Brilliant.
Totally. It's done well. It's done well.
Yeah, love the album.
Yeah, brilliant album, man. Couldn't agree more. I'm gonna go with what album? I'm actually gonna go with RJ Payne.
Barbershop.
Once again, yeah, I think he's a brilliant storytelling MC as well. Obviously, like you said, I had a few albums down. Had the Leatherface, Beautiful Pain, of If Cocaine Could Talk, but I think they're more like series rather than saying a conceptual albums. But even that in itself, to do series that are so on the topic is a big task, man. And I think he done that brilliantly. But the two I had in mind was My Life is a Movie too. Shout out to PA on the production of all that, and Barbershop. For those reasons, man. My Life is a Movie too. Conceptual album done so well with Jazzy Jeff doing the snippets and that as well. The little interludes about Philly and everything like that. It just made you feel like he was there and he was a part of it, man. So it was done well. Even on his If Cocaine Could Talk 7 with Ice-T doing the little interludes and that, where he's obviously speaking as Wesley Snipes and that, rapping as Wesley Snipes and that, brilliantly done. But everyone knows the album I was bigging up the most last year would have been Barbershop. Grown man music, as I say, man. You know, obviously it paints itself picture. Sitting in the barbershop, getting schooled, getting game from the barber, man, and he's just talking about mature topics and that. So yeah, I wanted to give them a shout. Definitely, RJ Payne done some good conceptual albums.
I have to agree with that, bro. Book of Ryan by Royce the 5'9". I know he did the allegory after, but I didn't really like the album, man. And I know a lot of people. A lot of people are bigging the album up, and I was just like, I'm not feeling it.
It was the production, isn't it? He done it all himself.
It was the production a lot. Yeah, it was, because that was when Royce was rapping.
Exactly, the production let it down.
Didn't talk to me at all. I tried, but it's not for me, and that's fine. But I think Book of Ryan he had prior to that he had Layers as well. Layers also very, very good concept album, and it's literally saying there's all these layers to him, and he went through a whole heap of shit. I can't remember the name of the song, but he's talking about that day he was at the hospital where his son was being born, and he met Eminem or something, and all in the same hospital.
Yeah, Tabernacle, I think it's called.
Tabernacle.
Yeah, sick song.
Yeah, and on Book of Ryan, where he's talking about Christmas Day in the Montgomery household, how his dad was an alcoholic, and all of this crazy shit going on. Just a load of really well done songs that really like let you know more about who Royce is that we didn't really get to see on his solo albums or his stuff with Slaughterhouse and stuff like that. So
definitely,
I think that's Royce's like dopest period. I think it was around like 2017, that kind of era, that kind of time. And he was just killing everything that he was on. I think that album was really good.
That's a good shout, man. Yeah, Layers going, Book of Ryan. So I was excited to. I just didn't really feel that. But yeah, lyrically, like I said, he didn't miss. Royce is a top tier MC. I don't care who you ask.
Definitely.
But the production definitely let down on that other one. But yeah, it's a good shout, man. I'm gonna throw out my last two quickly together for time's sake, and I was gonna go with Tupac, Me Against the World. Obviously, just speaks for itself. What he was going through at the time in prison. The songs on there, man. Do you know what I'm saying? The title track. Fuck the World, Dear Mama, of course, which I think is one of the greatest songs of like literally all time. I just love it. There's just so much on there, man, that he's dealing with and addressing, and I think it's a brilliant album. And you can feel Tupac's passion, pain, everything he's saying in that song. You feel it, man. Temptations, all that, If I Should Die, all of that, man, brilliant. And the last one I was going to go with would be Master Ace. Sorry, another great storytelling MC, conceptual MC, his albums. Obviously, you've got Long Hot Summer, Disposable Arts. But I put down Brooklyn Story, but I put down Richmond Hill because it's the freshest one. And I just like how things are connected and the story he's telling throughout that. And that's another thing. It don't have to be a running story throughout the whole album for it to be conceptual. It's just that there's a theme and there's a feel to it. You see what I'm saying? And I like what he's bringing on that album. So far, it's probably one of my favorite albums dropped this year. Richmond Hill, him and Marco Polo. Brilliant album, man. But yeah, for time's sake, I'll stop there. Who you got for your last two?
Yeah, I actually had the Master Ace albums down as well. I think he's probably the best at making concept albums. And the fact that he said that he's going to be taking his albums to the stage makes complete sense because a lot of them they're just stories, aren't they? A lot of his albums, so it makes a lot of sense. Ready to Die, obvious choice, as we kind of touched on earlier. The whole birth to death, definitely one of the best. Let me see. Did I have anything else down under albums? Prince of Thieves. No, that was me, bro. Ready to Die, Book of Rhyme, Show, Black Trash, and Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, man.
More, those ones highly recommended.
Definitely, man. But for Black Trash, though, for any of the listeners, man, it's quite amazing. Like, a lot of people I speak to actually haven't heard it, man. So if you haven't heard it, definitely go check it out. What year did it drop? Was it 99, 2000?
Yeah, 2000. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. If I Was White with Eminem as well, that's funny. Yeah, man, definitely. Okay, so what we had down last was just some MCs that we think are underrated storytellers. So we'll just quickly throw them out and wrap up. I'll throw out my few that I put down. I put RJ Payne, I think is an underrated storyteller. A lot of people look at him as this aggressive battle rapping type MC, but nah, he tells stories. Not everyone can do series as well as him. Like the ones I just mentioned, he's done it. He stays on topic, and he's done a few. I mean, if Cocaine Could Talk, he's up to number 7. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful Pain, he done 4 or 5. Leatherface, he's got about 3 or 4. He's on it, man. So yeah, I'd say Pain, underrated storytelling MC. I'd also say Cannabis, underrated storytelling MC, probably for the same reasons. I had Cube down as an underrated storytelling MC. I don't know if he's really underrated, but the reason I put him down there is because I feel like when a lot of people think about Ice Cube, they don't automatically think about him as a storytelling MC. You know what I'm saying? But he is, as we spoke about earlier. I had DMX down and I had Jay-Z down as well. The amount of times people say Jay-Z is shallow or he's this or he's that, you always know people that don't listen to the catalogs of people's music and they just hear what's out. You see what I'm saying? Jay-Z is a good storytelling MC. He has good storytelling tracks that evoke emotion. And obviously a lot of people are like, oh, 444, he done that album, or American Gangster. He was doing that kind of thing ages ago. But I don't think he was at the point in his career where he could probably put out whole projects like that. But there's always songs on every single album. He's telling a story or he's building a picture or something. And I think he's one of the best to do it. Definitely underrated in that sense. But yeah, that's the ones I threw out. Who you got for underrated MCs, storytelling MCs?
I'd say Merce, as we've spoken about. I'd say Fonte, for obvious reasons. I'm trying to think. Is there any female MCs that we missed out who are good?
You know what? Good point. You could mention Light. She had a few good, like, actually storytelling songs.
Yeah. I think Eternia as well. Eternia had some really good stories on some of her albums too. She don't really get mentioned ever, but she's really good. So yeah, there's quite a few. But yeah, I think we should show a bit of love for the female MC, bro.
Yeah, I know. And it's never an intentional thing, you know. It's just you just deal with who comes to mind first. But yeah, that probably just made that worse for what I just said. But and you know, we've done a couple of episodes on our podcast now, like solely dedicated to the ladies.
Yeah, I think we should revisit that as well. We should definitely have a female MC on for sure. Yeah.
No, without a doubt. But yeah, man.
So a lot of storytelling, as always, guys. Hit us up down below. Pause If you have any comments, add on.
Don't forget Dave Cole's dreams again.
So yeah, if you missed anything, let us know. But we only have an hour, so it's really hard to fit everything in. But yeah, always add on. Let us know how you're feeling it. Retweet, share, like all that good stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one. We've got a special guest coming up over the next couple of weeks. He ain't gonna tell you who it is. You just got to tune in and see. And yeah, from me, your boy Stack, is always in the building, and my co-host Jordan there on my left.
Yes. E Major, My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype, the art of storytelling. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll be back with you again shortly, man. So until then, stay blessed, keep it hype. Peace.